Oh, and today we have John Krakauer as our guest.
Thank you very much for inviting me today.
Glad you could be here with us. Let's look at some questions from your fans. First question. When did you start climbing?
I was about 8. My dad took me climbing and I just fell in love with it.
Really?
Yes.
Since childhood then?
Since childhood.
Second question. What was the first mountain you ever climbed?
The first mountain I climbed was a 9,000-foot mountain in the Cascade Range with my dad and brothers.
Where is that volcano lake located?
Washington. Around Washington.
Really?
Yes.
I live in Washington.
No, the other Washington.
Oh.
The state.
Okay. I don't live there.
No.
Okay. Are there any writers that you look up to, John?
Yes, there are quite a few on my favorite list, but my favorite is John Updike.
I love John Updike. He's my favorite.
He wrote my favorite book, A Month of Sundays.
I don't like it.
Well, it's very different, but I like it.
Why do you like that book?
Just really explains stuff in the book. You'd have to read it to understand.
I have.
Yes.
I understand.
Okay. I also like Charles Bowden, David Roberts, and Lori Moore.
Any others?
No?
Okay. Were you scared to climb the big Mount Everest?
I definitely was.
Really?
I was going to climb it a year earlier. I was supposed to, but I was really scared, and I chickened out last minute. So I asked if they could postpone the trip another year.
Did they?
Yes, they did.
Really?
They just really wanted me along. Yes, I did.
How did your family and friends react when they found out you were going Mount Everest?
They were kind of shocked, but okay with it. My wife definitely had the hardest time, and it's hard to leave her knowing that many people have died on the vicious mountain.
Do you have any kids?
No, I don't. I don't think I want any.
And you said that the mountain was vicious.
I do.
Why would you say that?
It's tall, and it's dark, and it's scary.
Yes, that is right.
Yes, it is.
How did it feel to be on top of Mount Everest and without oxygen?
It was quite scary, and it was already hard enough to breathe without the oxygen. With the oxygen, so without it, I felt like I was floating. I just wanted to sleep, which I knew I couldn't. I was very, very lucky to get home safe.
Why couldn't you sleep?
Because I would die and freeze to death.
That's not good. Were you scared to climb again after the Mount Everest disaster?
At first I was, but then I realized it was something I loved and I couldn't give it up. I was invited to go to Antarctica, which ended up being one of the best trips I've ever been on. I do know that I probably won't climb above 23,000 feet again.
23,000?
Yes.
Wow.
Very high.
How did the media react when you returned?
They swarmed me and really treated me like a celebrity, which I really don't like the feeling of.
Really? I love it.
No, I just don't like it. And on the news, they really made it seem like it was someone's fault, and it didn't have to happen like that, which isn't true at all. I don't blame anyone, just a mountain.
You talk as if the mountain is a person.
Well, the mountain is just, Everest is kind of it. It's just really not a good place.
Yeah. How was it to see your wife after going through such a horrible experience finally being home?
It was so nice to be home and see her and all of my other friends and family again. But I felt like I left something behind on Everest, and it was hard for me to think of all the friends that I had made, but they were just gone, vanished into thin air.
Oh, fascinating.
That is like why I named my title, Into Thin Air.
I understand now. I was going to ask you that question was next, so I guess we'll just skip it. Was it hard to write a book when you got back?
It was very hard. When I first came home, I was positive I wasn't going to write a book, just the article for the magazine I worked for. I was just going to put Everest behind and hopefully out of my mind. But after turning the article in, I realized that it wasn't enough and I needed to do much better. I started obsessing over it, and I had to get everything out. And quick.
Well, I'm glad you could be here with us today, John. I really enjoyed your company.
Thank you. Thank you.